Everyone, I just woke up. These are my first words. I literally woke up like 2 minutes ago. So, this is the thing. We're all united. Everyone in the world is united. There's those few people that just don't get it or are too poor to get it. And that's all that this is. Look at every leader you know. Every single leader you know. None of them, any kind of leader. There's billions of leaders, there's millions of leaders, would be in the streets rioting. Okay? Look at me, I would never. Okay? Look at Justin Bieber, he would never. Look at every man in Lake Forest, so many, in Lake Bluff, everywhere, okay? You have such a small amount of people that are just doing dumb things, okay? We don't allow that. So that's what, it's kind of like people have this idea. Oh man, it's kind of like, it's a big topic, but I'm going to keep it straight and just real. It's like, look at all the celebrities in the world of any skin color, any body type, anything. Look at the Grammys, look at like the Olympics, look at the Nickelodeon, Disney, MTV. Well, MTV is not so big anymore, but everyone who posts on YouTube that is obviously famous, everyone who does anything for NASA, anyone who does anything for Whole Foods in a sense, all these people aren't doing anything dumb. And there's so many people. Look at the leaders in the entire world. Think of 100 right now. You can imagine 100. You can be like, you don't have to name them, but you're like, yeah, there's 100 great leaders. There's 1,000. There's 10,000. There's 100,000. They're everywhere. And then you look at like leaders like Aaron Gordon. He's a basketball player on the Magic. Then you have Stephen Curry, obviously Golden State Warriors. You have Tom Brady on the Patriots. I don't even know if he's still playing. I thought he might have retired. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to any sport. I think they're what they are. I've never wanted to play football. Whenever I played baseball, I'm like, I'd rather not be playing baseball. I don't like, I don't know, hockey. I don't really like bowling. I don't even like throwing the ball bowling. Like, if I went to a bowling alley, I wouldn't even really bowl. I'm just like, all right, I'd rather go do something else. You have all these amazing leaders in the world and black leaders. So it's like you look, okay, this is longer than I intended it to be, but you know what I'm trying to say is really important, so I'm going to keep it going. I won't restart it. There are so many good black musicians right now and in the past that have created such good music. Like, there's so many of them. And then there's those few that make music that I would never listen to. And then there's like some that make music I would never listen to. And even white people, like Ed Sheeran. I would never listen to Ed Sheeran. Zayn from One Direction. I would never listen to Zayn. I don't like that style. Ed Sheeran, I could not even like at all. The entirety of One Direction, I don't care. Justin Bieber's music is like okay. It's like people make things what they want them to be, and then they do what they do. So with all these people that rioted strongly at first, what it is that they are regardless of skin color, because in videos, if you look up like, I don't know, compilation of videos from the rioters, like on YouTube. I haven't done that. I don't know if there is I'm sure there's a compilation. I've been on TikTok where you scroll fast and they have videos of people like, look at what's going on in every, like all these cities. So that's how I seen the footage. And it's literally just people that would do that, and there's not many. There's literally, like, if you look at every city, it's like, yeah, those people are, there's not that many, they're disruptive, and it's, what are they doing? And, like, none of them are, this is, again, I just woke up, and I'm, like, giving you, okay, to keep you here in the moment, to really, like, because I'm trying really hard to describe this, and you're like, okay, because the last video was incredible, and this is more important than that. Native Americans, people, every person you talk to, yeah, when Europe came and took over the Native Americans, that was terrible, the Trail of Tears. Okay, look at this 100% correct perspective. Europe was given the authority and duty to go and find land where there may be some. Columbus and all the best people from Europe with the best boats, the best technology, stepped on the land and saw that there was Indians. And they're like, okay, we see that you guys go to the bathroom in teepees. We see that you guys are muscular and do that, but we don't do that. We have this and we need this land because we've had wars in Europe, crazy wars, and we don't know how big the earth is. So whatever this piece of land is, great. And there might be another piece of land after this. We don't know how big the earth is. And what if on that other piece of land, there's people more advanced than us that try to take us over if we don't keep going and get more technological? Okay? Think. So Europe had the decision to move the Native Americans as a safety thing, to be like, okay, Native Americans, we got to the land, we experienced wars. What if right now, in the distance, even across another body of ocean after this, there's people that are like us looking for land, and they're like technological, and we meet, and they're like, okay, well, who's gonna like drop this piece of land? And like, it could be a terrible war, because in Europe and all the continents over there, there has been wars in the past, and we know that people try and do things, okay? You see what I'm saying? So we moved the Native Americans, and we're like, hey, okay, we don't really care, guys, because we're in a world where there could be war. Like, you guys don't have this type of war, and you don't have this responsibility. So we get it. You love nature. You're connected. We see that. But you have to move, and all of your tribe's leaders, because they move fast and they're muscular, you can't go and tell other tribes to like come here from this massive piece of land that we don't know how big it is to come and take us over, okay? We don't need that. And you guys go on this trail, sign these treaties, and there won't be any, like, you see what I'm saying? And then Europe, what did they do? They stepped on here and made sure that they created the best, so that if there was another piece of land with someone that would try and take them over, in a sense, which is not highly likely, it's just a thought which they have in their minds. They're like, responsibility. And it's, people are like, oh, I never thought about it like that. And it's like, yes. And it's you hear about stories of like Europeans insulting and not being responsible with the Native Americans, and like even rape, and I don't know, murder. I've never heard of murder, I've heard of rape. But obviously there was like people think it's like fires, and like Europeans were like, we're just going to kill you and take your land. It's like, no, move out of the way, because if there's somebody more technological than us that we don't even know how far this earth is, and they come at us and we have to battle harder than we've ever battled in Europe with people that also have technology, then we need to get more technology from this land as soon as possible, and more land, because who knows if like 2 pieces of land after this, then we have to do this battle, and then over time we didn't find another piece of land, we saw that the earth was what it is, and we're like, okay, cool. So, all these riders, all they're doing is, like, all these, any color, look at, they're white, they're black. Like, I'm saying, because I'm white, so I'm going to say, I've seen a white guy on a cop car going, like, ho, 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 and it's like, dude, no, man, what are you doing? And then it's like, there's those ignorant people that are white that do heroin. There's those ignorant people that are white that do horrible, just nonsense. You've got, you see what I'm saying? It's like, then there's, since I'm not black, now black people. There's black people that are angry about how police are now in the mainstream known for allowing a black person to die while being in custody, okay? And black people are like, what the heck? And they're trying to like represent for, regardless of whether they're poor, they have money. Most people, no one with money is rioting and doing these terrible things. It's the people that have no money that want to show they're like people that they really kind of, it's, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's black people going up to cars and being like, Black Lives Matter without a sign and being like, come on. And I've seen guys, for whatever reason, I don't know if the person yelled from the car or something, some remark, but black guys breaking the windows and like the semi-trucks, like even like people breaking the windows, white people breaking the windows. I've seen a white woman on a PF Chang, which is like a restaurant chain, harshly with a skirt, like a nice dress, like breaking the door down. Like, what could she possibly be getting from a PF Chang? Like a fucking bar stool where you eat at? Like, she's bringing that home? Like, what is going on, you know? And all these riders, which are no longer at that level of intensity, it's been long enough for them to feel the intensity of what they've done. And yeah, they can still group in the places that they're now kind of like, well, we went there for like 3 days in a row. Should we go for a fourth? Should we go for a fifth? Can we get more looting done? Like, it's like, there's people that think like that, but it's so minimal. It's so little. And you've got me, you've got you've got all these officers at Lake Forest, you've got in Lake Bluff, you've got, I talked to Sergeant, I forgot your last name, it starts with a T, yesterday, gave you the email and the video, and you're like, you saw it, and you're like, oh wow, okay, that's informative. And I have to say, in that video I said that in 1619, black people were like this on the land. When in reality, it was more of like a generalization where I was like not being lazy, but I'm doing things in my life, and I'm like also doing this, and I'm like, okay, so I see these people, they're educated, trying to make it look like there's something racist going on in Lake Forest or Lake Bluff or in America, and it's like, no one's racist here. There's not a single white racist person here. And you could say, that's a vast statement. Are you sure about that? And it's like, there's, if anything, 0.0001% of people are racist, and it's only because they grew up in the South and they're like, well, all these black, it's just like, no one cares. No one's like that. No one on MTV is racist. No one has ever been racist on TV. Like Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, obviously, again, MTV with all the music videos, YouTube. No one is racist. So you have all these black people, not even all of them. It's just, they're like, well, you know, it seems like you guys are like racially charged. And it's like, no, we're not. There's just situations on the planet. And I said that they stepped on the land like this. And like, you know, I was like, Africa was scarce. There was not a cup of water I would have drank. There's not any food I would have wanted. But I could say that at the time in 1619 about Asia almost. Like, of course they had water, but I wouldn't want to stay there very long because it's like their food style was different. That I wouldn't want to stay there for a week. No disrespect. Like to Africa, I'm like, I wouldn't be here for a second. But they have, in 1619, as much different as it was from America and Europe, it wasn't... They had families, they had treaties between all these, a lot of people. It's a big continent. And they had borderlines for animals. The animals weren't just constantly like blah, blah, blah. They had learned how to monitor the animals and move them and have a happy life. And I don't know what they ate, and I'm not even going to look it up, but I'm sure that they figured out how to peacefully, kind of like like commerce, like goods. Like, you know, in Europe, there's a big goods trade. It wasn't as big, but in Africa, they're like, okay, well, we got this. And they were, like, you can look at anyone of any time in history, regardless, even when Europe was way younger, and there wasn't even, like, plumbing. Like, there was a point where there wasn't plumbing. Like, the Roman Empire made plumbing, and it's whatever it was. I just know that they had good plumbing. I don't know if they're, like, originated. But you see what I'm saying? Like, at one point, the entirety of humanity didn't really have anything but the truth of moving and finding the food around. So in Africa, it was just that. They're like, okay, and this was their language. Like, yesterday I said this. Because I've seen, whatever, it's more like this. Because they're, you know, they're big, they're loud, they have to, like, be like, hello, so blah, blah, blah. Bring the kids. Okay, and they, even then, it's like, yeah, there was guidelines to, like, how to have fun. It wasn't that Africa was, like, this animal owned, like predators running everywhere. No, the black people figured out how to, in a sense, move them away from that kind of reality and set borderlines. Whatever it was, there was no way that all the black people were like allowing tigers and lions to just be roaming around. They figured out a way to move them away and to keep them away and to not even think about them while doing so. Because I said I'd step on the land and be like, what? What's that lion going to do? What's this water? What kind of alligators and creatures could be in this water? I wouldn't know, so I'm like, what's going on? But black people that live there, they're like, oh no, that's this. You just don't step over there. You're good. You know, like they had their thing going on. I got just very quick about it when these people, these educated people that came and had some good points, but then had the whole like thing going on of like, if this video cuts out, you get what I'm saying. We're all united, because it's sometimes it runs out. We're all united, and there's those very few people that need direction. So in Africa, these leaders in 1619, and whatever age, even now, they're growing. Like we, as the leading nation, as the leading country, for all countries to be united and be prosperous, and we want everyone to succeed. We are helping Africa. We have treaties with every single country in the entire world, everywhere. And we create perfection constantly. So in Africa, we're creating perfection while they get their perfection that they're working on. And with this whole COVID thing, all these countries are now not landlocked, but people aren't traveling. There's like people staying in their country. They're, like again, people in Chicago, the entire buildings in Chicago have been like, I don't know if they are now completely, but for a month plus, there wasn't really anyone in Chicago. I walked through it and I'm like, wow, all these skyscrapers have no one in them. And that's how every city was. That's how everywhere in the world kind of was. And it's not that it's just a thing. And it's kind of like, think of all the amazing basketball players, including in the past, like any color. I don't know the name of any white basketball players from the past. The first basketball player I heard of that was famous was Michael Jordan. Now, I like Aaron Gordon a lot. If you look up Aaron Gordon mixtape, like freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, there are 4 different videos. Aaron Gordon mixtape, freshman year, different, like freshman year, next video, sophomore, obviously. You will be amazed at how good this guy was freshman, sophomore, junior, and now he's so good, and he wins so many dunk contests, and when he doesn't win, he should have won. It's crazy. And you look at, Trey Songz, and like the fame that Akon, everyone knows Akon, and The Lonely Island with like T-Pain, and Justin Timberlake with Jay-Z. They always make music. There's like a connection and unity for everyone to be like, all right, we got this, no matter what. And then these riders are just people that don't have that, or like a stable, like even, you know, class of like constant, like, oh yeah, I make money, I get food, I get clothing. Most of these riders are people that really are struggling, like to a level where it's not struggling, but they're like, they see everyone succeeding and they're like, I want to succeed and these cops might kill me, what am I going to do? And they're just like, what do we do, in a sense? I've seen videos of people lying down on these highways, okay? They're not constantly making acts of violence. Yes, it is a violent act even just to lay there because you're in the way of, again, success. People that need to get places need highways and create things where there isn't any. So, like, we're creating things as these things are happening. So it's like, yeah, they can lay down. There was a lot. There was thousands of people laying down of every color. And I'm like, come on, man. But these people, it's all kinds of protests. And sometimes it goes, obviously, beyond protests, and they loot. And I have heard of people going to people's houses, but I only saw one video of that, and I haven't heard of that a lot. And it's just like, there's already thieves out there, and just these bunch of protesters, there's just some among them, and it's very little. And it's kind of like, you get what I'm saying, that all of us leaders know what we're doing and know our power. And then there's these, like, not even riders, people that are standing up for themselves in the face of a black man being killed by a white man, and all these other officers on top of him. When in the autopsy, I haven't looked this up on Google or anything, I spoke to a very intelligent man at the beach yesterday, actually two, whatever. This man was really intelligent, there was another man that was really intelligent. And he said that the autopsy showed that the guy, since he was on meth, something else, and was stressed, and all of this, he didn't die of asphyxiation. He died of a heart attack from the panic attack he was having. Yeah, the weight of the guy's knee on his neck didn't help his panic attack, but it wasn't the main cause that killed him. He had a heart attack, like a panic attack to death. And the weight of these officers and like what it was made him feel in a panic because he had been arrested before. And he felt the severity that could come from a judge. Like, you are sentenced to like even a week in jail. No one wants to experience that. And this guy was forging checks. And his prior was an armed robbery on whoever. I heard from the guy that told me about the autopsy that it was a pregnant woman. And I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to state that with any more than I just said. And this guy was having a panic attack. He got in handcuffs. And he refused to get in a car because he felt claustrophobic because he didn't want to be in the jail. He didn't want to be put into a space for more than a week. And a sentence for that with a prior and priors from what this guy told me. And I trust people that are smart sounding just as much as I trust Google at times. So, to this level, where I'm not even looking up on Google, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody tells you something, oh, I might look it up to see if it's correct. I trust this man, and if I'm incorrect, I'll look it up and I'll make another video tomorrow or something. Which I do not believe. See, I don't even like that kind of uncertainty. I almost wouldn't look it up because I believe this man so much. It's like the truth that people speak, or whatever, you get what I'm saying. It's, sometimes you just live both, like, in so many ways. Okay, this man refused to get in the car, which is refusing to get refusing arrest. So they put him on the ground, they're like, well, we don't know what you're going to try and do since you're refusing arrest, so we got to put our weight on you. And again, the knee on the neck, it's not a move. It's not really, the pressure, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much pressure was applied, but it wasn't the reason he died. So, you see what I'm saying? When you see what I'm saying, it's like, I could look up on Google after this video, and then in the message I send all of you attached to this, the writ obviously, I could say exactly what happened, which I do believe is 100% what the man told me yesterday, Dan. So it's, you know, there's things going on, and all these people riding, just not even all these people. When you think about the population of America and the great people here, the great men, the great women, the great grandparents, the great older people that aren't even grandparents, they had an amazing life, they didn't find their forever love. Like, you know, there's like, the older generation, there's some people, I don't know how many, okay, I'm going to start like this. There's a lot of happily married grandparents that live like a love story till the end. But then there's grandparents that got divorced at times, all this, and they're living, and they're in situations, or not even situations, they're living their lives. And a lot of life is love, and then some people, like, you know, are like, wow, like, you know, it's, you know what I'm saying. And there's amazing kids, there's amazing babies, there's amazing, like everyone is amazing. At Lake Forest High School, the most amazing people, my friends are amazing. I went to high school 2007, 8, 9, and 10, and everything, literally every second, perfect. All of my friends are amazing. I've had friends of every color, and they're amazing. There isn't anything else to say. It's literally, again, there's those few people that just didn't grow up with it. Like, think about people that grew up having to be around gun violence and like all this kind of stuff, and there's not that many, but they lived and live in a different way, and it's their life. It has no lesser or more. It's obviously, when we look at it, like, yes, I have mine, you have yours. Every officer at Lake Forest you all have yours. Every officer in the entire United States, Lake Bluff, Highland Park, Chicago, Miami, Nashville, Washington, D.C., every officer in Maine, every officer in Houston, Texas, so big. All these people that I'm saying people, not officers, because officers are people and I'm connecting, they're just doing what they do. And in the midst of all of this, there's a very rich presidential leadership to high class, to very wealthy high class, to the point of like Elon Musk, the Tesla president, who has billions of dollars, and Jeff Bezos, the Amazon president, who has $120+ billion, and like Donald Trump, and Jake Paul, and Aaron Gordon, the basketball player I spoke about earlier, and Michael Jordan, Shaq, and you have rappers, you have singers, you have all these amazing people, and you have teachers in every school, and they're all amazing. They are, see what I'm saying? There's classes, but we're united. Like, no one thinks like, oh, a person's a teacher, like that sucks. Like, no, that doesn't suck. Being a teacher is being a teacher, and that person chose that to have their life and have a family and do what they do, okay? And a lot of people like firemen, policemen, teachers, mayors, they all lead their best cities, their communities, their towns, their villages, and they're happy doing so. And then some people, like, like, I wouldn't want to do that. It's like, okay, you wouldn't want to do that. That's fine. I wouldn't want to play basketball. I don't even like playing basketball. Like, I like shooting, but I don't like the feeling of basketball. I don't like rubbing up against sweaty guys. I don't like soccer because it's just something there's a little too much intensity, kind of like hockey, where I'm like, I'll kick a ball, it's fun, but I'm not about to be like, in a sense, and run super fast. And football, I've never played football in my life, and I don't even like throwing the ball, honestly. And you'd be like, oh, really? You don't like throwing football? It's like, not really. It's, like, the spiral is fun, but when it comes to, like, strategic, like, it's fun, but it's not my thing. I skateboarded where I've ollied 25 feet. My foot is exactly a foot, a size 11. 1 foot is, again, 1 foot. If you have shoes, it's pretty much the same thing. Depending on, like, if you have size 15, size 10s, whatever. If you step 25 times and mark the beginning and then do that, you're like, you ollie 25 feet? Yeah. It was in San Francisco going really fast. And it was the biggest ollie I've ever done. One of the biggest ollies in history, literally in skateboarding history. Like Ryan Sheckler, Tony Hawk, I'm there with them. And I stopped because I don't like even scraping myself anymore. Like, I got hurt a couple times, but I heal very well. Like, I broke my big toe, and now it's strong in my bone. Like, when bone breaks, it grows back stronger. That's exactly what happened with that. And it made my whole bone structure stronger by, like, connective creation. You see what I'm saying? When that made the bone stronger, all my bones got stronger in what it was. So, you've got all these people. We all do amazing things with our lives, and now you have people of every color being like, what's going on with all these black people dying? And no one wants to hear about this. No one wants to see angry black people. No one wants to see angry white people. No one wants to see angry Asians or marginalized people at all. No one wants to see this negativity happening, okay? And it doesn't matter about George Floyd anymore. That's already, we talked about it, and apparently, I'll look it up, the autopsy said, didn't die of asphyxiation. It wasn't from the neck. It was just he had a panic attack from being on meth, being in a situation where he was like feeling the panic of possibly being in jail for a long time, which no one wants. Regardless of whether you're like a criminal or do things against the law, again, criminal against the law is kind of close. Criminal against the law, like you can go against, you see what I'm saying? There's like borderlines where you can't really, like jaywalking. You're going against the law, but it's not criminal. There's various things, but that's not even what I meant. I meant like people that go against the law have to deal with people being like, you went against the law, and here's your thing. And whether it's a misdemeanor, okay, well, you're good, a probation, therapy sessions, or, jail. And judges are very good about making sure that people get what they need. They're not like, you get all this. Like, you hear that people are like, you're black, you go and do this. There's just a different level of communication. Like, people think that black people get all this worse. And just erase that from your minds. I'm not saying anything more than that. Don't even think about it. Any one of you. If every single person on the planet was to see this, and you thought, yeah, but what about all these times? No. Judges in 2020 do their best. None of them are like racist. None of them do anything like that. Oh yeah, what? No, stop. No one is like that. I don't care what you think. No, I've grown up around my brothers that they got charges that they shouldn't have, and it was just let that go. It's 2020. Look at the perfection that is happening, and don't fear possibly going to jail like George did, and then he got put on the ground for it because he wouldn't step in the car, and then he had a panic attack which killed him. It wasn't the guy's knee, although that is part of something that could have led to his panic attack. Say he didn't have his knee on his neck. He possibly could have died of a panic attack anyway. Not saying that he would have, but he might have, because it wasn't the guy's knee on the neck that killed him. You see what I'm saying? He was on meth. His body was, I don't even want to describe this anymore. You see what I'm saying? And again, the Native American thing. People are like, no, Native Americans, how could you say that it was okay? Because on the other piece of land, in infinity, we didn't know how big the earth was. There could be other people trying to take us over like people have in the past before for various reasons. Don't care why. We got to go see, move these people that have not the same technology and be as kind as possible. And us leaders are going to go and build as much as we can from this land to gain what we need in case we need to go to war with whoever. Because when you go straight, you're also looking, the earth is big. So these people are like, okay, we got this land. There could be people there, there could be people there, there could be people there. What can they do? What kind of technologies can these people get? We got to get everything. And that's what happened. And it was this. Hey, Native Americans, oh my God, this land is awesome. No, guys. We have wars, and you guys have nothing compared to what you don't know. You don't know. Trust me. We got to get all this technology. We are saving you at the same time that we're removing you from your structure of school and happiness. We see that you're crying. We see that you're like, why? It's my nature. We get that. But if these people were to come now like we came and we had the battle between you would all just die from us battling. We wouldn't move you. We would shoot through you because we want to survive and we don't care. As much as we're nice, we wouldn't care. We'd be like, move out of the fucking way. See, that's what life is. And again, right now, all the leaders that are African American, they're black of various shades. There's light skin, there's skin, there's blacks that are very light, and then there's blacks which are just a standard black. Then you have very black people, and we're all people. We're all in this world together. Right now, if I was to go to Africa now, there's obviously COVID borders and all these things. But if I had money and I went there with world leaders, we could just continue building what we need to there. For the people, for us to make us look good too. Because National Geographic and NASA, and everyone is connected to make sure that everything looks